Alright, what's going on? So basically, this is gonna be a bit of a, I know this is just my first launch video in a while. I'm gonna use it as an info dump on how Act 7 / Act 6 Act 2, as I just realized it could be called, it's gonna be going down. So it's a big Homestuck Chowder mesh of lore that I'm working on. It's first hinted at here. This particular line. It'll come into play eventually. The one wearing the chef hat is, in fact, the mentor of wisdom who is writing in the Notes of the Forgotten. The other one is somewhat undecided, but I have an idea where it's going. And that whole fight I'll explain when it happens, which will be a long time. And nothing else is referenced until Jermia is destroyed and Perfect Ass is destroying the thread. Let me find it. Here we go. Yeah, so basically Niku ends up entering as he makes salt, and 40 to 11 degrees is a reference to Niku 2-1, obviously. The fact that he's making salt is a reference to the fact that he's salty. But the gateway, that's like a nod to the gates in Suburb, and he goes through it, and the pink symbol is the symbol of flavor, which we'll get to later. And Retcon Robert, I don't know why I saved him. I just was looking for characters who I left without tying up loose ends, and Retcon Robert was there. So I saved him and made him a chef of decay. That's shown by a black symbol. And Lord Pete's recipe is a reference to the Chowder theme song because he takes the moon key and he takes the sun key, and then he takes fun random knickknacks. So anything that seems like fun, and then he stirs it all up, and then it's done. So yeah, that's how he gets in, and he gets in as a prowess chef. And then Wiccan and VG Destruction get in without being assigned symbols, which is a bit interesting that was able to happen. And Stockpick also gets in without doing a symbol. Kind of interesting. And apparently some random unnamed chef goes in as a chef of guidance and is registered apparently as decay because of possessive Niku being there. Then I'm just clicking through this. Mr. Murderman also ends up as a flavor chef, which is a bit interesting. And I did this so that Leo could kind of determine their thing because I didn't want them to mess it up. That's all. You know. Honorific might be actually my favorite current member of the thread because they're a good balance of not taking things really seriously because they interact with people like Lily and stuff, but they also don't take things too seriously like Heartshine, who's always focusing too much on the lore and stuff. I focus a lot on the lore, but Heartshine's a bit intense. Oh dear, who's messaging? We'll get to the notes soon enough too. I don't know who this is. I don't know why they suddenly showed up in this thread, but that'll probably get retconned. Yeah, what else was going on? Oh yeah, Floss died, which is a bit intense. Yeah, New Realm. Vanilla CD7 is obviously because it's a food as the joke. Exploiting a glitch, like the fact that it's referred to as a glitch is another Homestuck sort of thing. And yeah. Let's see. The fact that everything's named after foods is a Chowder reference. And the tournament is, I don't know, it might end up being a Tournament of Power reference, I don't know. And it actually uses Supreme Overseers, which is kind of interesting. This is the first time they've ever played a major role in any of the threads. Or realms, I guess. Magnum Chef is a reference to like Iron Chef and also to God Tier. But yeah, that'll come into play much later as usual. And instead of don't hold back the cringe, he says let's get cooking. Anyway, let's see. Anything else that's happened that's been interesting? And then more related anyways. This guy is me named Grease, obviously because everyone's named after food. Oh my god, this stupid. Anyways, Bananasaurus Rex, that's actually a Plants vs. Zombies reference that I slonked in there. Even though canonically in that game, Bananasaurus Rex is a female, I changed that because I didn't want to be a blatant ripoff. And needed the early dinosaur, of course. Alright, yeah, point is. Let me skip ahead a bit actually, because yeah, nothing crazy is going on. But point is, oh, Jesus is also back. And okay, let me go through the notes now. Actually, let me first just look at the symbols and notes. I can just read these off. So basically, these are obviously references to the aspects in Homestuck. Just changed to be food themed for the most part, except for like wisdom, which isn't really food themed. So I'm going to explain what they are all supposed to kind of be. Like passion, which is the space one. It obviously has like hearts on it, and they're like circling into something that could be interpreted as like a clover, I guess. I don't know. It's one of the more abstract symbols, but it represents passion. Basically, obviously, like putting passion into a dish rather than just making the dish. Then there's prowess instead of time, which is vaguely supposed to resemble a Tide Pod with a chef hat, but I did a really bad job at the chef hat. and it represents the talent put into a dish, like the overall skill of it, not everything else ignored. Like it could be an awful dish like Tide Pods, but if you put a lot of skill into it, you still have prowess. And texture is pretty self-explanatory instead of mind, and it's like the mind symbol is if it's a donut with plates taken out of it, and these are utensils. And then flavor, again, self-explanatory, represents flavor and taste. It's the heart symbol, but with a tongue instead of a heart. Guidance replaces hope. It's supposed to be like a recipe book or a cookbook. That one took like the longest to make because I kept messing up and having to redo it. It basically represents like using a recipe and stuff and following orders. Well, chaos instead of rage is it's actually one of the better made symbols. It's supposed to be like a cooking pot or a pot or something that's on fire, and it represents going off recipe and being chaotic and making things like pineapple pizza and stuff. And then instead of breath, there's fitness, which is supposed to be like a carrot and then like a knife getting ready to cut the carrot. Which is like vegans and healthy and all that, and you don't even have hunger or glutton or fatness or whatever. Instead of blood, which is like junk food and like all that, and then you have ripeness instead of life, which is like the closest connected to the actual thing. And that's like obviously how fresh an ingredient is or how ripe it is. The symbol is supposed to be like a vine with something growing on it. And next that is decay, which is like a rotten apple core in like a ring of barbed wire or something. I don't know. That's instead of doom, obviously, and it represents decay, obviously, like rotting and stuff. And then wisdom is self-explanatory; it's knowledge and experience. And then there's resolve, which is like determination and persistence. This better not be will. It's gonna fucking be will, isn't it? Okay, so it's not. So like, and then all the classes are based on characters from Chowder. Pupil is Chowder himself because he's like the apprentice. And also everything has 2 syllables. I should mention that now. Mentor is like Mung Dal because he's like the master chef who teaches Chowder, and that's the one with the chef hat. Vendor is Gazpacho. Servant is Schnitzel, because like obviously I couldn't just make the outfit be just an apron, so I had to add a bit more to it, like the gloves and shoes. Warden is Truffles, as seen by the mushroom hat. Rival is Gorgonzola. I didn't want to give him the literal like rag clothes he has, so I gave him like a little like flame on the hat. Baker is Endive. Critic is Ruben, who's this minor character who appears in a few episodes, like the rat sandwich is a notable appearance of him. He's like this snobby pig guy. Suitor is Panini. And actor is Ceviche, which is like that like goat kid who apparently has a crush on Panini. Monarch is Mr. Fugu, who's like the like creepy fetishy balloon guy who has a lot of money. And then Idol is Pate, the one guy who appears in the Apprentice game as Ceviche's master. And yeah, so I haven't written the lore for all of them yet, and there is actually another. I called it roles, even though it's technically classes, because I was gonna I was considering calling them roles instead of classes, but then I realized like roles should just be the whole name, the whole title, you know. But yeah. There is actually another role or class I have planned that's like based on the appearance is based on Doc Scratch. I say it's blatantly a recolor of him. And it's basically just called Doctor with the O like as the color slash the symbol or whatever. I'll figure it out eventually. And yeah. So a little intense. But I'll figure that out later. Anyways. So what time is this video at? Jeez, I've been recording for a while. Anyways, yeah, so like this I know this is a weird thing to come back to as I haven't done a lunch episode in like a week. But you know how it is. Like I don't really have much else to say. So like I also something I haven't even begun like implementing yet is, which might actually link back to the standoff thing with Dementor Wisdom. I might introduce characters like based on like specifically Snowman, which is gonna be kind of weird. But you know, having that same 8-ball effect where if you destroy them, that aspect like dies. But I don't know. Maybe if the doctors ever come into play as a villain, you need to like kill them in order to be able to hurt the doctor or something. Yeah, we'll see. This is all obviously like much later game stuff. Cause like the tournament's probably gonna happen like around halfway through this thing, maybe a bit more earlier than that. But the tournament's gonna be like a huge arc. Like it's gonna go on for like as long as the Shards arc did in Act 4, which is a while. It's gonna be really intense and it's gonna be great for everyone involved. It's gonna be lots of competitors, just random people just dying. It's gonna be like that Chowder episode where they have the hand on the mixing bowl. It's gonna be like that, but like 30 times more intense. Like people are just gonna like die as they let go of it. Man, we have to get there first, and that's gonna be a while. Like everyone needs to establish their roles and all that. Build some character. Like I'm bringing in Jesus because I don't want to use like Lord P, Niku, and Retcon Robert because Lord P is obviously really overpowered because he's a Lord English, but rich. Retcon Robert's a Decay Shaft, which is like ooh, that's also pretty dangerous. And then Niku is Niku. He always shows up like to do one thing, except in Act 5 where he did a major thing, but you know. But yeah. You know what they say? Another day, another dollar. Old holler gonna make you holler.